to another All Goes Back to Sonic. My name's Bob. Over there's Storko for you. Right next to him is Harvek, and right next to him is MegaFire.
That's right, we're all sitting in one room.
Yeah. And today we did Sonic 77, 78, an all-girl special, whatever, and we finished Knuckles. Big day today.
The way you just gloss over any of the girls, anyway.
Ugh,
I
female.
I forgot what we called it. I forget what it was called. It's just titled Girls in my summary, so I don't know the name of it.
That's fair. It's girls rule.
Well, if we don't have any opening thoughts, I'll just get right into it.
I have an opening thought.
Alright, what's it?
I think there's a lot to cover. Alright, let's get into it.
Yeah. Alright, so Sonic 77. Sonic's parents and the rest make it back to Nahal. Sonic and Sally get attacked by Shadowbots in the middle of their mission to get home, but they're immediately saved by Dulce. They make it to Nahal, and Sonic, expect to be in huge trouble for disobeying Acorn's orders, actually gets a thank you from the king. And after that is a side story with another Great War flashback where Sonic's dad is incapacitated, and then after Sonic's mom explodes him in the leg, Dad is rushed to the hospital, and the Overlanders continue winning the war. I was super brief in this summary, so let me know if I missed anything, actually.
No, I think you got it all.
Yeah, very quick.
Kind of something piggybacking off of something we talked about in the last episode. I think this is one of the last times we're going to see that little red OC, whose name I forgot already.
Oh, Dago.
We just talked. I have it in my notes.
Yeah, it's because it's like off episode. Like I learned the name and mentioned it, and then now it's like, oh shit, I forgot.
Yeah, it's this dude that appeared on a bunch of the covers in the previous set of issues. Well, anyway, I think this is the last time we see him, and he's there again next to some Smurfs, some red Smurfs who don't appear in this issue at all. I just like how this issue starts with Amy. Everybody look! And I'm just like, everybody look! It's Amy Rose, the rare Amy Rose appearance. Everybody is here on a single bridge in Not Whole Village. The only bridge.
Amy Rose is here.
Have no fear.
Is Amy slowly just taking off her outfit?
Oh, you mean yeah, they have been changing it. I think slowly trying to figure out what, because it's closer to the games now, like Sonic R and stuff.
It's like, we finally got it down. What do you mean you redesigned her?
Once again. I have something really, when I started reading this, I have a note here that just says, they will never let it go, will they? And it's about, I know I've praised this before. I really like this character, Jeremiah, the son of the great storyteller Kirby. I feel like every time he's just reintroduced the same way. It's so annoying.
I did think it was pretty funny when this awkward dialogue, and then him just, and then I didn't even notice it myself, but then it was pointed out when I was reading the Thanks Kim Pender's blog. It was like, oh, you can even see that the writing for that is slightly different. I think someone else wrote it in. I think it might have been a bit of a it wasn't in the original script. They just kind of threw it in there to tie it into the story later.
You copy paste Jeremiah, the grandson of the great storyteller Kirby. I just want to point out, because we're still on this opening thing, we have a new artist, James Fry. He actually he started on issue 76. And I just want to do shout outs. I like James Fry's art style a lot, actually, in these earlier comics. It kind of feels consistent, which was something even when they had the same artist, it feels like everybody was kind of growing with the comic and changing their styles over and over. But James kind of keeps it consistent. I mean, I think it still improves over time, but he's a veteran in the field. He's been working in comics since 1984. He actually started in Marvel. He worked on the original 1989 Star Trek comics and the Birds of Prey comic in those years. And something cool, which is, we'll cover this or this character a little bit later, but Mina Mongoose, who some of you maybe read the comics before know about, he was one of the original designers of the character alongside Carl Bollers and Spaz. So he was actually like involved not just with drawing her initial appearance in the game, or in the comic, but he also worked with Carl on like how to develop the character too as a character. And X-Men was apparently an inspiration, just something to keep in mind as we read about her. I don't know how valid of a statement that is, but I learned that through some interviews with him that I read through.
If I may interject, I got two things to talk about this spread.
Okay.
Amy Rose's and Bomb's mouths are flying off their faces.
They're very excited to see Sonic in game back.
And
I mean, not Sonic in game.
Dr. Quack fucked at some point, and I hate this.
Well, we already knew this, but yeah.
Dude,
I don't care. I don't like it.
No, he deserves it. He's based. He's cool. I'm a Dr. Quack stan.
Why do I get the feeling he's going to be gone soon? I don't know why.
I can't have anything.
Look,
he's going to talk about retirement any second.
Do you remember that fucking butterfly from the big inflation Sonic thing?
Oh.
Yeah, where'd she go?
She's just chilling somewhere.
She's in the background somewhere.
She got roboticized.
She was a real threat, so she got roboticized.
Oh no! There was LSD in this flower. Ugh.
It was the dandelion. she snorted it.
I can't wait for the dramatic reveal of, oh no, Betty Butterfly was roboticized and now she's an enemy.
The fact that, okay, first off, the fact that you, Harvek, remembered this character, and then B, Dorko, you remembered her name is insane to me, because I didn't even... I like this Tails art. I linked to my friends. It comes immediately after the spread.
It's a good Tails.
I think it's a very cute Tails. And then everybody proceeds to explain what happened and all the science mumbo jumbo. And Nate really lands the shot here. He just comes out and says science doesn't matter.
This fucking page is probably the reason I just started skimming through everything. I just got immediately agitated by all the words. So I just wrote like the short summary and just gave up.
There was a lot of techno babble. And none of it really needed to be even said. They could have just said like, yeah, Robotnik's back.
Matter.
He has, yeah, now, science doesn't matter.
Everyone remember, science doesn't matter.
That's right. Thank you, Uncle Nate. Dulcia's OP. Every time she appears, she's just wrecking house. Robotnik's moist mouth arc begins here.
I don't like tentacle arm Robotnik.
Sorry, foot counter. We're retiring you. We're going to start counting the number of moist mouth Robotniks.
Well, you might not want to retire that yet. It's about. No,
I know, but I'm going to.
Well, you don't want to count them later on?
I've already forgotten where we're at.
Oh, you'll see in an issue or two. I'll remind you.
This is the moistest. I mean, look at this. Oh, it's so gummy.
Well, considering he's like bio-organic or whatever the heck he's doing there, I would expect him to be moister. I think
You're
a tank
right.
just drove by my house. I don't know if the mic picked that up.
I didn't hear anything. Okay, Robotnik's driving by.
Oh,
He's here.
The shadow bots are coming.
I wanted to point something out about the comic at this point where I really... Okay, so I feel like this is kind of where some stuff I feel like is happening in the background. We get a whole page and some change of King Acorn kind of whipping around on like pretty much the last 30 issues that he's appeared in, and being like pretty much acknowledging that he's been wrong and that Sonic's been right to act the way that he has, like against King Acorn's, wishes and his orders and all that. And I think it's an attempt that Carl Bowler's tried to do, where he's trying to lighten some of the like weird gravitas that was written in and bogging down the Sonic story arcs. He's literally like saying all these things in this page as if it's like addressing us directly. Like, I feel like a lot of these things we were talking, like, why would he do this? Why is he such a dick? He's wrong. And then all of a sudden he's like, you know what? I was the fuck up. You were right all along. It don't matter. None of this matters.
King Acorn uploads 1 hour YouTube video.
Yeah. The King Acorn apology video.
King Acorn's like, I've made a series of mistakes. Touches the camera. I would like to apologize for them.
Yeah, I don't know, I was okay with this one. Like, okay, the weird babble in the very beginning aside, I dug the little chase scene, Sonic fighting with Dulcie, and then kind of get everybody getting back and meeting up, and the king and everybody talking. I don't know, like, it was like one of those instances where like,
yeah, Dulcie is OP. What's stopping her from just doing literally everything, solving every problem?
She's got dragon politics to deal with.
The artists still want to draw her, maybe.
Okay, to be fair, I don't think I want like a 30-issue spin-off of that. I'll just get bored.
Roboticized Dulcie.
Bitch about it a lot.
They tried.
I'll just be bitching about it a lot.
Here's your real answer: roboticized Dulcie.
Don't do that to her. What did she do to you? What the heck?
She's gonna team up with Betty Butterfly.
No, don't do that to her. We'd all lose.
In the little second story, we get some really good. We get this fantastic image. Here, I drew you as the virgin Sonic mother, and me as the Chad Robotnik. I also want to point out there was a really, really bad art mistake in the next few pages with Amadeus, Tails' dad. He's missing an eye, and then in the next panel, they got both eyes back. It's a miracle.
Oh, I didn't even notice that. But...
I could not notice, because in the next panel he appears in, he's got the eye patch again.
He's doing that trope of the anime girl with the eye patch. That's all.
He's a tuning.
That's his cursed eye. You're not supposed to see it.
But
explanation number 2. He is faking it, but he really loves Snake Eater.
His eye grew back. That's explanation number 4.
And then he lost it again in the next panel.
It was off camera.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, I mean, overall, I like this issue. I think if they continue down this direction with the way that they write, like some of the characters, like King Acorn not gaslighting everybody at all times and also not being insane. I mean, I feel like we're gonna talk about this in the next issue, but there's some conflict of interest in like how they're writing this out. I feel like
one more thing. In the war flashback, I brought this up the last time. We still see the evolution of Robotnik. I think this is the last time we see him with the normal white eyes in these flashbacks.
Oh, you're right. I didn't even notice the fact that he
they
has the
turn
white
black
eyes.
in like the next like flashback.
Yep.
Yeah, he just slowly evolve, whatever. He becomes robotic.
He got a promotion.
He did. It's true. He did. Yeah. Any thoughts, Dorko? Anything else, Bob?
You know, I do think the King or Acorn thing is interesting because, I mean, at least for me, like, it's just a nice moment of like, oh, he's being reasonable for once. I don't hate him for this page. That's nice.
Yeah,
I did see a bit of like, I don't know, discussion about that kind of thing of like, it's nice, but I guess it technically conflicts with the Max we've seen and are still seeing written by Penders, but it's like, I don't really mind because I don't know. It's like maybe it's arguably a little strange or out of character in this instance, but I actually enjoy it. And then when Penders goes back to doing his Penders things and Max is just insufferable and like, I hate it.
Yeah, I definitely think that there was like a moment where Carl Bollers was trying to like rewrite things where it's like, okay, I guess now's a good time. He lost his kingdom. He's had all this time to stew over. Maybe now is like the time. You know what? I fucked up. You were right. Let's start back on page 1. Acknowledge all the faults. Maybe like kind of like little point at the camera and wink, and then like move on. But then, I guess either Ken Penders in the next issue tries to help, or he's just muddying more of the water. We'll get there. But yeah, that's. I'll leave it at that for now.
Yeah, I don't know if it's just like a writing conflict, or maybe the editor's just not doing a great job. Which there's a very great example of that in this set.
Yeah, the eyes.
Well, it's something later, but I'll laugh about it later.
Okay, all right. I guess give us that next Knuckles the Echidna 29.
Sally is mad because her brother was kept a secret from her, so she arrives at Knuckles' to yell at him for keeping secrets that her mom was on this island, but he explains he didn't know about it. So an Echidna wizard shows up, one of the Brotherhood dudes. I forget if we've seen this dude before. He escorts the two to Haven. Sally asks for help healing her mother and for help with Dr. Eggman. The Brotherhood can do nothing about the Queen and asks Sally if her people are willing to fight Eggman using the latest in munitions technology, which she cannot agree to. And then later that night, despite what Locke told him, that being Knuckles and Sally cannot be friends, Knuckles tries to reassure her otherwise, but despite all his explanations, Sally's unable to trust him, and throws him into a dilemma where he has to pick between his friend or the family. So now that King Acorn is kind of snapping out of it, Sally's kind of becoming unreasonable for this page.
Yeah.
And I wasn't a huge fan.
Well, okay, to the defense of the writing here, I do kind of like them pulling on the fact that, like, hey, back when, there was no nuance, no family, no nothing, you still didn't, and Robotnik attacked your island and you saw what he was capable of, you still didn't help us. Like, that was a pretty, I'll defend it where I think the defending is good. Most of the scene is kind of like, first off, the setup for all of this is garbage. Let me just say, Spectre's like, are you willing to nuke? No? Fuck you. No nukes? Nukes are off the table? I don't think so. Like, what, that was so bad. That was such a bad setup. But then, like, okay, let's ignore the details of that. And like, okay, let's just write in as if we're writing this out. A conflict arises at the meeting. Something cannot be agreed upon. Move on. Knuckles is now in a position where he wants to help, but he can't because seniority trumps him. So he comes down to talk to Sally, and he's like, if it was up to me, I'd help you. I'll help you. Regardless of what they say. And she points out, justly, the fact that they have been in this situation before where there wasn't this seniority or whatever. They were friends prior. And you still didn't help me. I don't know if I can trust you. Even though they're like a lot of what she says, actually, I think was okay. Like, I thought it was a pretty good. The latter half of it was, I thought, a pretty good content for the issue. The former, not so much. I will say this moment right here still kind of hits me. This group of panels where they're outside of the bulldogs. I forget what they're called, mother and father. And it's like, I like these lines. I like this setup. I like
this. This was the line where I was going to give Sally a bit of credit, because they're just kids and they're worried about war, and nobody's all right in that kind of situation.
Nobody's okay.
This was the moment Sally became Heisenberg.
Yep, that's right. But also,
sorry.
I wanted to just quickly point out the thing I was talking about prior with Dorko, where here's that conflict of writing where it's like, hey, instead of like a more thoughtful response about why King Acorn was acting like a piece of shit for so long, which we already know why, kind of, they wrote it out as just, oh, he has timey-wimey dementia, Sally. Come on. What the hell?
Can I really quickly point out how the art style has gone back to just straight up sad AM?
Oh, it's Art Mawini, that's why.
Yeah.
I appreciate that. I love it.
Except Knuckles, who's unfortunately caught Sonic Underground syndrome.
Yeah, I think parts of this issue looked a little doofy, but oh well.
Why do we bring this back?
I was gonna try and avoid talking about this, but all right.
No, we have to talk about this.
It was kind of okay. Taking a moment to joking, like be somewhat joking and explain Sally's old color changes is kind of funny, but also completely random in this moment and kind of poorly placed pacing wise or something. I don't know.
Well, they couldn't think of 4 panels. They were like, well, let's fill it with this, I guess.
Or maybe another. It's just like, well, why is she bringing this up right now? Like, what is this?
It's like, so it is funny. It's a good one. I like it. But why are we dropping this now? Like, it's just so weird to bring it up right now. Like, so far out. Like, who remembers this? Nobody. That probably nobody of the kids that were like reading this probably don't even remember this happening.
Not now, Knuckles. I have to talk about this continuity error.
But
I guess to say it out loud, it's like Sally talking about how her hair color and fur changed, and she says he fell into a chemical vat.
I have more questions about that.
She became the Joker.
She became the Joker. That was her Joker arc.
So that's the Joker's actual origin.
That was the moment Sally became Heisenberg.
Yeah.
I'm looking back at this panel, so when she says, oh, maybe that's a problem, maybe I should have seen before, you didn't join the book when he asked you to. So when I took the shot at Sally, not knowing that this was back when he could have left, so...
Yeah,
So I guess I wanted to point that out, that I forgot about that, so I don't get yelled at.
No, but you're like, okay, so, I mean, you're also right to, like, state that she is being somewhat unreasonable, too. Like, they acknowledge each other's situation, and it's just like, well, listen, a lot of stuff has happened, time has passed, people grow, like, this was kind of a lazy way to write it. I mean, like, in the end of the day, it's like, I can understand Sally being unreasonable and leaving and storming off and, like, being unsure, and that's fine. Things between, like, her leaving the Brotherhood to talking with Knuckles, I like. And then, like, that very tail end is just, like, it's once again, we're back at, like, I need to rush through this. I have, like, the man who loves to put walls of text, and then, like, we can't, like, it's so much of nothing. And we're finally getting, like, meaningful conversation. And then back to, like, oops. Instead of maybe, wasting 10 panels on nothing, you could have put in a little more time to delve into this conflict. I don't know. Like, ugh.
Also, before I forget, this is really silly, like, I guess on my part, but I know, like, was that, like, the start of this issue? Right.
Cat Weasel, we're back. I love him.
I just remember being confused because I had so much trouble for whatever reason comprehending of, like, oh, this is a talking bird. I was like staring at the text bubbles. I'm like, who's talking? And I'm like, there's a talking bird. I'm like, oh, I completely forgot about this character.
A talking bird?
Why is
Sonic the Hedgehog?
Why is he back?
We love
he was
Cat
new.
Weasel. No, he's old. He's hella old. He's the guy who Knuckles like verbally abuses for fun.
Look, this guy was away for a while, okay? He was off fighting Betty Butterfly and her roboticized army.
Amazing lore. Also, when you
Archie, hire us.
It's something you sort of brought up with one of the panels you posted, which was that back and forth between Nicole and Sally, where it opens up with take his orders to dismantle the roboticized Mobius industry as an example, and then Sally's follow up was a little, what the fuck?
Wait, when did this happen?
And Nicole brings up the king wanting to dismantle the roboticized citizens, and then Sally just like, from his point of view, my father saw a potentially fatal problem and offered up an arguably pragmatic solution.
Oh yeah.
Like maybe he was cooking when he was like, kill them all. What?
One of my notes here, now that you said it, I forgot to read this. I said, and we're back to father gaslighting his daughter.
I do like how Nicole gives this big long spiel, and Sally's response is more or less, okay.
Hey, I may have a logical solution on why your father has been acting the way he is. I think it has to do with the fact that he was in a, lonely void with his mind addled. And she's like, I already have. Like,
Nicole.
like, okay, then why were you taking anything that he said seriously before? Like, he should have been arrested. You should have usurped his throne, woman. What are you talking about?
Nicole, L plus ratio plus you're a robot plus I don't care plus okay.
Plus, I mean, he had a point.
Plus
He was cooking.
Also, I fought a space knight in space.
Something I've written down, which like, if this actually has been covered before, you'll have to remind me. But like, it kind of just hit me that like, with the Pender's stories and whatnot, I'm like, man, we've sat through like a lot of boring exposition and lore dumps and whatnot, and like, but I'm still confused of like, why does Knuckles have like a family of grandpas and great grandpas and they're just alive?
Like, sometimes
how have we not yet been forced to read a dozen pages explaining this?
Well, okay, we kind of have, but like, okay, so the logic is they live for a long time because of guardian magic or something. And so they just don't die. Yeah. They just have sex, have a kid, and then they're like, well, I'm off to the Bat computer now.
Well, you see, echidnas are kind of like Wookiees. They're very long-lived.
Exactly. I mean, exactly. I wouldn't be surprised if that was the initial inspiration.
Look, I'm going to be honest, in a couple panels, if fucking Han Solo shows up, I mean, I might be a little more interested, but I'm not.
I'm be begging Han Solo to shoot first some of these characters.
Hey, Eggman, I've come for you. Comic over.
Remember how they took one of Knuckles' grandpas off life support? I feel like a few more of the, and it was such a difficult decision for Locke of all people, like the one of the youngest members of the group to let go of one of the oldest members of the group, and then you like, bro, you have like 6 more dads. What do you want?
Yeah, it's all dudes too. It's an all boys club.
Yeah, well, that's
true actually.
It's a bunch of like old men at a fucking golf course.
You know, sometimes you have a bunch of uncles, and all the uncles, like, they exude, some of them exude uncle energy. None of these do have that uncle energy. They all have just rancid grandfather, I need you to go energy. Except Spectre. I mean, okay, his nuke commentary was a little out of pocket. You don't want to sit Grandpa down at Thanksgiving dinner and start talking about how war should be waged. Because back in his day, things were worse.
You know, back in my day, we had to deal with giant radioactive lizards that shot nukes.
We had to deal with dingoes.
Yeah.
Back in my day, the Overlanders, we did a Dr. O'Brien. Okay, let's get you back to bed, Grandpa.
Okay, Grandpa, we're going to have to unplug you from life support.
Hey, kid, I think we're going to have to unplug this one.
Damn.
Damn. Yeah, he puts his hand on Knuckles' shoulder. I think we're going to have to kill your grandpa.
Alternate universe where this comic's the exact same, except it's Han and Knuckles.
All right, let's move on to the next issue, the Sonic Super Special 11 Girls Rule Edition.
Girls
All right,
Rule.
it's time.
That's what it was called.
It's time for some feet, baby.
Oh,
Right. So Girls Rule is 5 short stories about different characters. Sally takes a dive into the source of all and sees visions of her past in which her mother shows her a tiger eating a bird to explain the war against the Overlanders. She then gets a vision into the future of herself as a ruler and decides to not see the rest of the vision out so that she can instead do things her own way. Hershey is on a mission to infiltrate Eggman's base. She reaches a computer room with Eggman on the computer in the way of her mission objective. I forget the objective. That's what the summary says. So... does anyone remember what she was doing here?
yeah, she's trying to, they were trying to look into what happened with Valdez, who got, like, separated from them, or tried to hold back Robotnik's forces when they were escaping Mobotropolis.
Oh, so that's why that happened. We'll get to that later. So she triggers an explosion in a separate Robotropolis building to distract Eggman from his computer, but it doesn't work. Instead, she throws a bouncy ball down the vent to trick him into following the noise. She learns... She learns Espio's dad was roboticized and plants a bomb on the computer and leaves so that Eggman returns to the bomb blowing up. Lupe's gang returns to their home in ruins, and Lupe's family is roboticized. A mind-controlled Uncle Chuck and his SWAT bots force Lupe into the roboticizer. She emerges a robot, but she hasn't entirely lost her humanity yet and smashes some stuff so that the rest can escape. And she stays behind so that she can be with her family. So, sad ending for the Lupe thing, I guess. How unfortunate. Bonnie lifts a heavy object and passes out. It turns out as time goes on, her cyborg parts become less compatible with the rest of her body and will eventually become toxic. She must pick between upgrading her robotic parts or dying, so she upgrades her robotic parts. She is sad that she does not get to heal it off, but she is alright with it at the end of the day. And finally, Julie Suda visits the blown-up Dark Legion base and bumps into an old Echidna named Simon. Simon gives a history lesson and some Echidna stuff. I straight up skipped most of this. And bottom line is Julie's parents pretended she was an orphan and her memory was wiped for her own protection or whatever. And Simon wants to take Julie to see somebody. And we will find out another day.
And just to add on to that, it's kind of important. Her parent was so Kragor, one of the main bad guy Echidnas, down the line on the evil Echidna, evil Knuckles family side, had a wife. They had 2 kids Kragor was one of the kids of damn, this is hard.
I saw Kragok and I was like, fuck this.
We already need that Echidna family tree.
The Dimitri family line, one of the kids in that line had 2 more kids. His wife died. He remarried, had another kid. That was Julie Sue. So yeah, Julie Sue is somewhat related to Knuckles. So that just makes things a little bit weirder. But it's way, way down the line. So it's like, I just had that thought. And I was like, all right, whatever. We're going to just skip past that. But yeah. My face when I'm talking about the Knuckles family. I'm just gonna point one thing out before we start talking about this in earnest. Somebody gave Ken Penders carte blanche because he wrote all the stories in this one, every single one. Different artists, but he wrote them all.
Yeah, that's definitely something where when I read that and I was just like, oh no.
Oh no. To varying success.
You're so kind.
I like this. Okay, I liked the Hershey one, and the Julie Sue one was. No, the Julie Sue one wasn't good.
I thought
the art
Bonnie
was
one
good.
was okay.
Huh?
I thought the Bonnie one was okay.
Oh yeah, I like the Bonnie one and I like the Hershey one. Okay, I guess that's really what I'm thinking about when I said like to varying success. I liked. So the thing about the Bonnie one was that the reason why it was such a like, it's not just like you upgrade or you die. It was if you
I put it very jokingly. So she takes. Yeah.
It was a good joke. I'm just for context. If she upgrades to artificial limbs, she can't like. There's no hope to de-roboticize her. Is what Dr. Quack says. So that's the reason why it was like there was some weight to it.
I was kidding, but I really should have just said that because I did like this one.
I mean, no, that's really what it comes down to. You upgrade or you die. Like that it quite literally was that. And Dr. Quack even makes a joke about it. He's like, I don't know, which one do you think which one would make me last longer or whatever? I have one screenshot, I think, from this besides the Sally shrugging. I didn't link this one before, but Sally calling Knuckles a clod is really good. My mother, you clod.
The looping thing seems like I was trying to set it to be a good sad ending. It was just I was never really invested in that one, so it didn't really hit me. So that one was just sort of whatever for me.
I just don't care about the characters. It's hard to care. It's hard to care about what happens.
Real quick, what was Sally's brother's name again? Was it Max?
Elias.
I like how Elias is just holding his cape in every panel he's in.
He's nervous. Dude, his sister just got butt naked and then also hugged him. That guy is like on nerves. He's on pins and needles.
No, look, even like projection version of him is holding his cape.
Oh, you're right. I just noticed that.
He just never stops holding his cape. He thinks he's like Spawn or something. I wear this cape. It needs to flow at all times.
By the way, I want to tell you guys that in my notes, because fuck you guys, I started writing Valdez, Espio's dad, is now a robot. Literally, he's not his dad. I want to be clear, he's not his dad, but that's it's been
No, I gotta milk my joke for the next
Yeah, I was hoping we could somehow gaslight MegaFire to thinking it was actually his dad.
I have this cute little picture of Love Struck Antoine as Bunny flies away with her new rad design.
What is
it's so tiny I didn't notice it.
What is this? An image for Archimedes?
That's right. You're good with that one. And I just wanted to point, I like Pat Spaz's art a lot. Yes, this one had a lot of feet, but don't at me. Also, all the echidnas are boobed up. But I like, so what I really loved about a lot of these panels is the backgrounds. The echidnas have bean proportions sometimes, but like the backgrounds and the foregrounds are really cool. I like them a lot. There's a lot of
they actually did a really good job with this.
Yeah. I could not read this one because the pink text boxes like fade away at a point.
Oh yeah, her thoughts or something.
Oh, what the fuck! I didn't even see those.
Yep, they're really bad. It's very poorly done.
Would have skimmed over it anyway. But
thanks, Ken Penders.
I also want to note that I have no notes for the Lupe stuff because I actually didn't care at all.
I did. Also, thanks, MegaFire. I didn't even notice that they were all boobed up until you pointed it out right now.
I mean, I was looking at the art because I started with the notes was like I really like the art in this one, and as I kept going, I'm like, let me make sure. Okay, well the feet aren't. I wrote literally verbatim. Well, feet. So meh. And then as I kept going, I'm like, well, okay. She's kind of got bean proportions sometimes, but that's not great. But you know what? It's okay. And then I kept going like, all right, they can sure are boobed up in this one, but the art's still good. I promise. Literally in my notes is written like that.
I hate the fact that there's like Julie Sue's side boob now.
There's Julie Sue like boob all around the fucking hemisphere at this point.
If she takes that shirt off, there's gonna be nothing there.
They're attached to the shirt.
I hate that it's like, look at how booby they are, but then they're not wearing pants. It makes me feel very uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Gotta cover the top. The bottom though, let it fly, baby.
I like all the names surrounding, like in this story where it's like it's Kragor, Florenka, Mirinda, and then it's me, Simon. Also, sorry for the weird laugh, by the way. I had COVID a few weeks ago. I still kind of have like the COVID laugh of like the kind of stuck in my throat.
Well, if it ain't General Grievous.
Kenobi. Nope, no, that was more of a...
He turned into Darth Maul there, geez.
Darth Maul, yeah.
I'm sorry, I think we scared some people away. We should get back to Sonic.
Yeah, alright, back to Sonic. That's all I have. That's
and
my...
that
all
goes
my
back
thoughts.
to Knuckles. Oh wait, no it doesn't. We have to go Sonic one first. Sonic 78. So... Sonic is knighted.
The end.
Because, good job. Acorn reenacts the Freedom Fighters. Elsewhere, Eggman plots a comeback with his army of roboticized Mobians. Oh, and just as a reminder, Uncle Chuck is on the enemy side now, unfortunately. Sonic laments the fact that he's packing his uncle's stuff away to make room for Nate. He feels bad because he misses his uncle, and his parents comfort him. And Queen Alicia is still in a tube. After that, our next story is we see that one character, Mina, who had to be stopped from attacking Eggman's place and getting herself into trouble. She's asked by someone named Rosie to watch over some other young Mobians who also had loved ones captured by Eggman's army. She starts telling the kids a cool story, and I thought this was going to be a flashback about this character, but we're actually going back to the main squad. Antoine wants his dad back. People celebrate Sonic's knighthood, which was actually at the prince's request, as we found out. And Dr. Eggman is at his computer doing magic again, the tentacle arm, and he seems to have found a new way to enslave Mobius as seen on the big screen. So we're getting that tie-in soon. And then we get another war flashback. The Great War flashbacks continue, and Jules is in the hospital. Desperate to help, Uncle Chuck uses the roboticizer to fix him, but not before Robotnik sabotages it. I'm not clear on whether he did this to mind control him or bots the recovery. So someone will have to fill me in on that later. But regardless, what's bad is that Charles sees the new Jules roboticize and isn't sure whether to be relieved or horrified. So, meanwhile, Dr. Robotnik watches King Acorn and King Overlander dueling as part of his big plan. Because if one of them dies, he wins. So Acorn wins, but he spares him and doesn't kill him. So since neither one died, Robotnik's plan backfires and he goes back to plotting. And then a distressed Charles shows up and gives Robotnik what I'm assuming is like a core device for the roboticizer. Judging by his face, it probably is. So he's hoping that Robotnik will get it to work better because he feels terrible about it. And he feels terrible about Sonic's den, and he just walks out of his home out of shame. The end.
Welcome to the year 2000, everybody. We're in the future now, wearing cool sunglasses. Sonic the Hedgehog's changed the logo. We are now greeted by the logo we all are way more familiar with.
In the year 2000.
Exactly. I linked two comparisons here for my friends and for you all in the show notes later of issue 77. Now it's the old logo that we grew up with in the 90s. And then this one, 78, is the very first drop of the world's way past cool comic, Sonic the Hedgehog. Get used to seeing that.
In the year 2000.
That's right, in the year 2000.
For those that are unaware, in the year 2000 was a Conan O'Brien skit that they continued late into late 2016, where they said what things would happen in the year 2000.
And you know which one they didn't call? Sonic the Hedgehog comics continuing for 280 issues.
What? I hate that you said that. It's not even halfway done yet. Dang it!
Don't worry. It'll start to get lubricated with juices.
It'll start to go.
When does Turok show up?
Soon. We're almost there. Yeah. What the hell is up with their royal attire? They can't decide if they're going for Egyptian or Roman, and I feel like they've been changing this design every time we've seen them in any kind of ceremonial gear.
Look, Sally.
It's royal.
Sally is rocking those like amazing armor pads.
Yeah, you're right. She's got the pulse. Yeah, she is rocking the pulse.
She is going to war with that.
She's the eagle priestess.
Looking ass.
Where was that earlier? Why didn't she wear that the whole time? That looks like it could tank a blast.
It's made of gold, so it won't tank anything.
That's what you think. It's just plated in gold.
You're right. It is what I think.
It's actually tristelium.
We get some Anton story set up here. He divulges to Bunny about the fact that his dad is roboticized and in Mercia, and very concerned about that. It's very funny because that little story bit is what they cut off Mina telling a story to the kids with, and I thought that was kind of silly. There's a lot of really nice little background. I liked this little thing here where it's like a little background things happening as Elias is like reminiscing on the fact that he wishes he was able to go on adventures, and he's actually been advocating for Sonic and gang in the background, unbeknownst to them, and also apparently he's got a fan club.
I thought that panel was funny. Everyone just gawking at him.
Yeah, I like that. It's very good. We get Sonic Adventure set up. The comic's first story ends with Dr. Robotnik looking at on his monitor. It says chaos because he found the ultimate energy source.
Shadow the
The
Hedgehog.
god of destruction.
Now going to the second story, this is so messed up. This is actually so terrifying looking.
Yeah, what? Who is that?
That's
What is
Amadeus. That's
Who's that again?
Tails' dad.
Oh,
Do you remember how in the previous iteration of these flashbacks, after the roboticizer malfunctions, we learned that Robotnik did that. He sabotaged the device. And when Charles leaves, they have to dismantle like the lab. But nobody is allowed there without a military escort. So Amadeus escorts them in there, and they shake him off, and they were like plotting, and he catches them in the act, and a SWAT bot knocks him out. And then the next time we see him, he's roboticized. This is that. This is moments before he's roboticized. He's got his ear cut, stuff stuck in him. Who approved this? This is nightmare fuel.
Man, I was confused when I looked at this because I was like, I don't know who that is.
It's the eye. It's his bad. Like the eye was replaced with the robot one before he was robotic. Because we haven't seen like I think he roboticized one person or something prior. I don't remember the continuity, but the implication is that Amadeus was one of the very first ones roboticized ever.
Wait, is this the same character that had an eye patch on the right eye?
Yes. That's his right eye.
No,
He's
it's
facing
not.
the screen.
Yeah.
That's
He was
his right eye.
He was last time too.
Yeah. He's missing an eye on the right.
But when I scroll up, he was what?
Or is he missing an eye on the left?
Well, whatever. It's backwards to the image you posted earlier. That's what I'm trying to
maybe
get at.
that's just inconsistent. But I'm pretty sure it's supposed to be
Again,
Amadeus.
my theory is correct. He's just faking it.
Yeah, I
He's just
think
switching
you might
eyes,
be right.
yeah. I think yeah. I like the flesh out on Charles's story here. I like the little more detailed look into the like effects on him for screwing up the roboticization and all that. I like this little bit. First story, you know, was kind of nothing, whatever. Set up for Anton, set up for Sonic Adventure really are the big notes for me there, and then I just like the second half story.
Well, I guess I get that. I didn't like the second story, but
Care to elaborate?
it's just a little awkward because this is one of those situations where I just wrote I don't care.
He doesn't care about the pain and suffering that Charles Hedgehog is going through.
I guess I didn't quite feel like this was something that really added to anything, and I guess that's just kind of what it was for me.
Dorko, I need you to leave that just silence there for the as we all just pondered for a second.
I mean,
okay, I was just waiting to ask who's going to be the one to ask if we're ready to move on.
I did want to mention that like there was kind of like the mundane, like a mundane thing that just cracked me up in the first story was, it's like Sonic going like, "Look, it's Jeffrey St. John, his Secret Service agents," and Valdez is there like nothing happened.
Wait, I didn't even notice that. I think that's a continuity issue.
That's why I was talking earlier. Like that's the thing that cracked me up. Of like, I don't know if the editor's doing his job quite right.
Oh my God, Valdez is there. He's just right there by Hershey. What the hell? Wait, but then he's just not there again afterwards.
Hell yeah. His dad escaped. I'm so happy.
He's fine. I'm sure that won't change soon.
The echoing, like, oh. And he's just back in the robot form.
Wait, Valdez, how did you escape? I don't know.
By all accounts, it doesn't make any sense.
Thank you, Dorko. I knew you'd be clutch on that.
I mean, I'm kind of curious, actually, now that Dorko brought that up. Like, what are your the rest of your feelings on like this Charles background story? Or like his... why?
I got nothing.
You got nothing. You have no feelings, one way or the other.
He's got nothing.
All right.
Why is it so funny? All right, are we all ready?
Yeah, I guess we are.
I got nothing too.
Dorko, what do you think of Fate?
Okay, we just like,
We got so much more left.
is it just the Knuckles left?
It's just the three Knuckleses, which are all, not that long. I don't know. I'll just get into it for
It's probably not that much to talk about with the main story.
it was much more of a slap fest than what we're used to with Knuckles. So, number 30. King Kong arrives on the floating island. Knuckles is reading A Space Odyssey, and a little bird warns him about an evil gunman that shot another bird. Knuckles heads out and bumps into Monk, the monkey, and has a flashback about the monkey being a bully. We also find out that Monk one day was captured in his sleep by Echidnas, who tossed him off the island and sent him to drown, only for him to survive and swore revenge. So Knuckles and Monk get into a fight, and then Knuckles punches him in the nose and makes him say fuck. The fight comes to a pause as the gunman arrives. And we also have, for the next few issues, an Espio short story. Julie Sue has a horse. She asks Espio if he's seen Knuckles. The two team up to go find him while his friends Mighty and Ray stay behind. They find Barney, who's freaking out about something, and passes out. Julie leaves to take him to a doctor. Espio asks the rest of his chameleon buddies what happened to Barney, and then they bring him to a roboticized Valdez, who demands his best friend and son join forces with them. We then get 8 pages of ads, and the issue ends.
Yeah, I fixed this. Another inconsistency happened, so I fixed it.
My best son.
Valdez? Who else would I want to join me than my best son, Espio?
I can't help but love the gigantic text box around Espio's no.
Yeah, there's...
It's like they expected a big no, but all he could get was no.
We don't have time for retakes.
There's just so many screenshots that I took. I'm just gonna post them of this
Why
fucking
does
monkey.
Monk look fucked? Why does Bonsai Buddy look fucked?
It's Bonsai Buddy. I looked into it. I did a little research. I was like, when did Bonsai Buddy come out? 1999. This was 2000. This is not a coincidence. He's literally Bonsai Buddy.
He was thrown off the island for hacking the software.
He hacked the Brotherhood's computers and they made him pay.
Oh, now that's some interesting lore.
God, now I had to go and reread this comment now, but just with the Bonsai Buddy voice.
I just want to point out the fact that I hate the Brotherhood. They're so ass for this maneuver. So Monk beats Knuckles in a fight fair and square. And what does the Brotherhood do? They drug him and throw him off the island like a cult.
Fucking executed for bullying.
He is executed.
No, we're the Light Brotherhood.
No.
It's kind of hilarious how evil and dickish that was of them.
It was so bad. What if there wasn't water underneath? In fact, even if there was water, that fall was so far that could have killed that man.
I think they wanted him dead.
Yeah.
My poop nose! You busted up my freaking nose!
And like I said, my fucking nose, and then he just downgraded to freaking.
My freaking nose. Swears in my Sonic? What is this? Shadow the Hedgehog?
The Sonic fans are dull, so we can have a little swearing, alright.
This is what we want, okay? Real fucking shit like this.
I will say that I feel like with this whole story arc, I feel like we've just turned into a Marvel or a DC comic. I don't feel like I'm reading Sonic anymore.
No.
I will say one thing though, to the credit of this story, I'm kind of like, for how it began, I'm kind of with it with like, oh, I feel like Knuckles is doing his Guardian job again. Because it's been so long since he's done that.
I will say this. I wasn't like super into this issue or anything, but I seem to have a lot more fun reading this comic where it's just Knuckles being a slapfest instead of the bullshit that we had for the past 30 issues.
Oh yeah.
I wish it was just fights.
And then Julie Sue appears on a My Little Pony, and just kidding, it's an Espio story. I like that. No, I'm with it. I agree with you. I like these three issues. I'm with this. Like, it's weird. It's fun.
Yeah, I'm more with this than literally the entire rest of the Knuckles, except maybe that one cab driver.
Yeah, dude. No, LSD was still
because the LSD
me.
was like so ridiculous and bad, but it was funny.
Do we love Henry? I love Henry. That's not his name. His name is Harry.
Harry.
I mean, you say it kind of felt like DC or Marvel. I think Mr. Guy with Gun is either based on Kraven the Hunter or they're based on the same thing, either or. But
he is called the Hunter.
It's a fusion dance creation of Kraven the Hunter and Ra's al Ghul.
Yeah.
Man, this fucking guy with the laser rifle. The Turok jokes are like right there. And
that's what I was talking about. He's Turok.
We're just.
I think.
You think?
Not anymore.
I got mind snapped. I'm sorry. I have timey-wimey dementia, just like King Acorn. I was just gonna say, I didn't know if we were ready to move on, but I was gonna say, Bob, you should just like when we get to it, like just do the summary for the two. I think back to back.
Oh yeah,
I
sure.
feel like it's just one complete story.
Yeah.
But go ahead. Sorry, Harv, you were saying something.
Oh, it wasn't in this issue. It's the next issue.
All right, then, Bob, lay it on us.
the rifleman shoots Monk with a laser, and the rifleman's servant, who is some kind of robot named RU-12, except it doesn't look like a robot. It looks like a man in like a big suit. It's like covered in a trash bag or something. He takes him away. Knuckles follows. Archimedes tells Locks that he can't find Knuckles. Locks goes looking, whatever. Knuckles is taken to this man's den where he keeps heads of animals as trophies because he's fucked up. And this gunman fires at Knuckles, explaining that he hunts for the sake of competition, and he challenges Knuckles to a fight. And he shows Knuckles a photo of his girlfriend. We don't know how he got that, but he threatens to kill her if he doesn't play along. Later, Knuckles and Monk are given collars and are sent into the fields to run, but not too far, else the collars were given as that, forcing the two to play cat and mouse with them. The next Espio episode, Espio's friend explains that during a mission to evacuate people from Mobotropolis, he unintentionally got left behind and captured while the rest went running. Eggman manipulates him into taking control of the floating island, leading him to believe that the Echidnas are abusing Chaos Emeralds to take over the world. Espio's friend Liza reveals to Espio that the reason Espio was brought here is trying to reason with the brainwashed roboticized dad, but it's not working out as Liza intended, and she's taken away and roboticized herself. So Valdez then threatens Espio to work with him, or he'll do the same to the rest of the chameleons. To be continued. Thoughts?
Go ahead and do number 3 as well.
Okay. My bad. Knuckles and Monk make their way to the Hydro City to escape pursuit. Locke and Archimedes are elsewhere, but I'm so bored with these two after 31 issues of this. I don't even know why they have less than a minute to escape the facility before it blows up. I'm assuming they're like setting a bomb in that guy's ship. Like they found it. I don't know. I don't care. Hunter's tracking down his enemies in Hydro City. Monk hands Knuckles an electric cable to help him set up a trap for him. But Hunter's already arrived. He takes a shot at Knuckles and somehow misses. Monk attacks from behind and demands him to remove the collar as the two undergo more pain and outrage the longer it stays on. In fact, Knuckles becomes so angry that his collar simply breaks and he explodes into chaos energy, causing Hunter's gun to malfunction, and he is defeated. And then Hunter is taken into a prison pod. Locke also showed up. Who cares? Espio doesn't have a choice but to take his former friend to the Emerald. So as he leads the robots into a temple, Espio manages to slip out of sight because he's a chameleon, and by pure chance, Valdez steps above the trapdoor and is singled out. Espio forces him into the water and makes his way back to the captured chameleons, leaving the robots behind. He takes out a swap out with a handgun so that the chameleons can escape. An explosion occurs after they escape, so Valdez and Liza are dead, I guess.
I guess.
I don't remember seeing a panel where they get away. Did they?
I don't think so. I don't
Did
know.
they?
No.
Do we care?
Do we care?
I mean, we of course we care. What do you mean? This is Espio's dad, dude. I don't know. I don't remember.
There's something amusing to me. There'd finally put in there and be like, oh, here, let's establish some sort of connection. They were best friends. Okay, what's the story? Well, Valdez gets roboticized. All right, what's the solution? Espio kills him. Oh, my friend, he's a robot. You could just die, I guess. Moving on.
I mean, the situation was pretty critical, dude. I mean, they captured all the chameleons, and he was overpowering, and Espio was by himself. I don't know. He wasn't he wasn't out to kill. It just sort of happened.
L plus ratio plus I don't care plus Espio's dad's dead now.
Fuck.
I mean, I don't know how else to put it. It's just. I feel like I care so little, and I feel like there's the writing's not doing much of anything to make me care, and I just think it's kind of funny. Like, if pointless Espio recolor is dead, then hooray! Like wow. Maybe something positive I could potentially say about a Pender story. He solved a problem, which was kill off a pointless character he created.
Yeah. I mean, I don't care about Valdez that much. I'm just I don't know, like I like the Espio story. I don't mind him. It's fine. I mean, I like that there was an Espio story. I do kind of hate the fact that every time Espio appeared in a close-up shot, he looks like a fucking weird ass. In this case, he looked like the freaking excited Wojak.
Oh!
I don't know. Maybe there's too much negativity from me. But just the appeal of like, oh, Espio gets his own story. Like it didn't even cross my mind at all. Just because I just wasn't engaged with it. I
didn't care for the Espio thing either. The only Espio thing he did was like be a chameleon, like sneak away, but then that was it. He just dips a dude in the water.
Yeah, they didn't really establish Espio's character too well until like later, and I feel like that's just because no content with Espio existed outside of Knuckles Chaotix.
No, you see, Espio has the ability from Sonic Boom. When he falls in the water, he just teleports back onto land.
Yeah, so the heads was kind of that sure was something. That was going back chronologically in the story of Kraven the Hunter there, Turok.
It is kind of an unhinged thing to put in a Sonic the Hedgehog comic.
This ain't Turok.
I just kind of went.
Turok's a good guy. He wouldn't do this.
He would never do this. You're right. I kind of just went down the line. There are so many variants to this Bonzi Buddy's face. Yeah, I think it's the same author. So what the hell is happening?
Yeah, sometimes he's Bonzi Buddy, sometimes he's like a Planet of the Ape, and then sometimes he's just Beast from X-Men.
He looks kind of cute in that very first one that I linked. I guess that's the one that looks most like Beast.
Yeah, that particular panel, just that panel, he's voiced by Kelsey Grammer.
I believe all these the main story with Monk here is drawn by Ken Penders.
How does he have such variable art?
I hate that his name is just Monk.
Monk.
I keep thinking he's gonna he's gonna become. Oh God, I'm blanking on what the condition's called. Kleptomaniac? No, Clean Freak.
Oh yeah, okay. Wait, why?
I like how you understood me and then didn't.
No. When you said what I understood was you said kleptomaniac, I was confused. But then you said clean freak, and I was like, okay, yeah, that is so I was like, I understood that, but I'm like, wait, why is that something like? What does this have to do with anything?
Monk the TV show.
Oh, I don't know that one. Sorry, I'm not that kind of nerd. I'm the kind of nerd that makes my friends read Sonic Archie comics.
He's like Columbo, but he's a clean freak.
Oh, okay, yeah, I actually heard of this guy before. Okay, yeah. That's another side of television that I just haven't explored.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I like the Knuckles story. I thought, okay, when I say I like the Espio story, I thought it was okay. Like, it wasn't amazing or anything. I kind of was all right with it. Like, I didn't really think much about Valdez dying. I'm like, that's a fine. I don't know if he's actually dead. I don't remember, but if he is, whatever. I don't know. I didn't hate it. I didn't dislike it. I understand. I'm in this with the mentality of like, Espio got a story where he's kind of sneaking around, but he's also fighting people because he's. I mean, what are the Chaotix known for? For fucking brawling. It's just that he's kind of outnumbered and outgunned. I don't know. Like, it was nice. I don't know. It's just nice to have that.
I don't know how much more to say from my perspective, or it just kind of felt like there was nothing there. It's like, well, I don't like any of the characters. I don't like any of the dialogue exchanges, and I didn't find any of the action interesting or memorable. So, like, for me, I guess it wasn't offensive, but I already pretty much forgotten about it, so I'm going to forget about it
some more.
Like, immediately after this podcast episode is over, it's like out of my brain, except maybe, oh yeah, Valdez, he turned to a robot and died. That's kind of funny.
He turned to a robot and died, and
him walking away from the explosion is very funny. That's the one thing I was like, every instance of Espio in this is like, he's like the virgin or like the soy Wojak.
You mentioned bean. This is just straight up spaghetti.
It's for real. Oh, also, something kind of interesting to note. We get like the first instance of Chaos Blast that isn't called Chaos Blast, but it's basically Chaos Blast.
Like the Knuckles maneuver.
Yeah, and Knuckles uses it on Craven. I don't remember his name. I think it's Hunter. He's just Hunter. So that's kind of cool. I mean, whether it's intentionally, like, I mean, I guess not a very like unique concept of just an energy blast from your body. I'm pretty sure Dragon Ball Z did that 1,000 times, but I thought it was interesting because Chaos Blast doesn't exist yet.
I didn't even. Yeah. I mean, my brain didn't make the connection at all. But it's like, I guess you could say that. I guess that's kind of what's happening.
Did Monk die?
I think he might have died.
I'm glad. We don't need Monk to persist. He should have. He was living on borrowed time. He should have died when the echidnas threw him off the island.
I guess he died from a much lesser fall. I guess.
Oh no, you're right. Well, he got shot in the neck, didn't he? Yeah, he got shot in the neck. Actually, that's pretty brutal. Honestly, the way it looks like he should have just been decapitated. But
you dead?
I guess it was the shot.
It was worth a shot.
And again, it's funny that like this fucking gorilla, let's fucking kill him, and then this fucking guy with a gun with a body count, and we're like, we'll put him in prison, I guess.
Yeah, I don't know what the logic. They fucking threw a guy off the island for beating up Knuckles in a fair fight, but this dude, he's just like, well, into the ice pod,
in the water bowl,
in the water bowl. You're going in the jar.
Oh no, not the Echidna jar.
Oh no, he's into it.
Oh no, he likes it.
What have we done? So yeah, let's never talk about these comics again.
End of the podcast.
But wait, there's more.
Tune in next week when we talk for 4.5 hours about Godzilla -1.
Oh, that was a good ass movie.
That was a good movie.
I guess I could repeat something I said like before the recording started, which was like, I felt like some great relief that the Knuckles comic is over, but I'm not sure how much I should really feel relieved.
Yeah, Dork and I were wondering if the Knuckles stories are going to show up in the Sonic stories now, or if they just fucking gave up.
The answer is yes.
The stories are still there, and they did give up.
The return of Knuckles' story inside. And it's just one panel.
Actually, for real. Oh my god, I'm pretty excited about that. I forgot that's true.
I can't wait for another one-page Knuckles story.
Well, so you're just gonna see the crux of like a little bit of minor spoiler of like it is quite literally yes to both, where they are going to be in the Sonic comics and they will give up and they will like just at some point wrestle the story back.
Wrestle.
It'll be interesting. Let's just say we're reaching a point where even when I was younger, whereas where like a lot of this I was kind of fuzzy on if I enjoyed it or not because of high level stuff and past and future view of things, using games to augment my enjoyment of things. These next like kind of sagas, I guess, sort of soonish, not this next episode, I don't think, but like not the next couple episodes that we'll be recording, but like a little bit later on, definitely it'll get to a point where I'm like, even I was kind of like, there's a lot of hit and misses here for me. So that's going to be pretty interesting, I think, to hear what you guys have to say.
Hmm.
Yeah, we're done with Knuckles. No more side. We're just. I mean, it's pretty much Sonic and Super Specials from here on out. So much easier to keep notes of.
So now that the Knuckles comic is over, what did we think, fellas?
Yeah, well, actually, let's
Holy
hear it.
shit.
I like that Charmy's friend died of LSD.
That really was the peak, wasn't it?
It really was.
The peak.
We get Harry. He's awesome. We get LSD. That's cool.
I'm just disappointed that more stupid like attempts at crazy shit like that didn't happen again. Because Knuckles is otherwise really just boring.
I feel like there should have just been more stuff of Knuckles being a guardian and doing shit like the setup for this comic, like this story arc without this actual I mean, even the story arc, I liked it. Like stuff like this and like the detective noir stuff was cool. It really is like the wacky, like it's the wacky stuff with minimal like intrusion of like Knuckles' weird family lore taking all over like 80% of the story that really like hampered everything. But like there was a lot of crazy crap that happened. It's just that it kind of gets like I think I mentioned like there's crazy crap, it's an interesting idea, and then it just doesn't land, and it doesn't like have anything like well fleshed out. So I agree with you. I think that's really what we needed more of.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think we've depleted our energy reserves.
Okay, so thoughts on this session in general, then?
I liked hanging out with the boys.
Yeah. It was overall kind of lame. The girls' role thing had like a couple good ones, but otherwise it was either whatever or just funny because Monk looks funny.
I guess I didn't quite get a chance to say it, but like, yeah, the Julie Sue story itself is just kind of nothing to me, but like I feel like it was just carried by Spaziante's art, where like that his art alone made it like, oh, that was kind of a nice read. Just especially if you just look at the pretty pictures.
Pretty pictures.
Yeah, they made that really complicated. Another instance of like, wow,
that was like
sure was a lot.
Like a convoluted backstory to a silly degree.
Yeah, no kidding. Yeah, I mean, really, all of my notes are just about the art. Like, I don't even think I talked. Even when we were talking about it, I don't think I even really mentioned much about the story.
We save our brain cells trying not to understand it.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just surprised at my own actions where I would at least try to pull something out of a note. It's just like, whoa, pretty pictures.
Or something I forgot that was funny while I was reading was like, I think like the first issue I wrote something that was like a note that was like and there's too many scenes of Sonic characters on operating tables. And then when it happened again with like the bunny story, I was like, there's too many. Why there's so many scenes in this comic of Sonic characters on operating tables? Why does this keep happening?
Dude, I just fucking had a coughing fit. That was so funny.
The writer's barely disguised fetish.
No!
I don't want to.
No, I refuse.
I don't want to face this reality. Quick, wrap up the episode.
Where are these characters be without Dr. Quack? We're not giving him enough credit.
Base Dr. Quack. He's saving the cast. I'll just say this. Next time, we're not reading quite as many. I believe what I was planning, and I have to verify, but we're going to do Sonic Super Special 12. And then Sonic the Hedgehog 79 through 82. It might be just 81, but I think it's through 82. And then maybe, if you guys want a second Super Special, it'll be Sonic Adventure. For the next one, or we can just save it for the one afterwards. But I'll double check and see how good Super Special 12 is, because if it's kind of a snoozer, that's going to be like just glided over, then may as well just do 79 through 82, and then Super Special 13, which is Sonic Adventure.
I can't wait to open my heart.
It's gonna be all right.
Is it though?
No. Thank you for joining us. And remember.
Bye.
Oh wait, hold on.
Me reading this comic can't hold on much longer.
And that's where we end it. Goodbye.
Bye.